Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Rose Room Updates. I'm your host here. Today we're diving into the world of The Handmaid's Tale and exploring what it means to do the right thing in Gilead. We've got a lot to unpack, so let's get started. So, the latest episode of The Handmaid's Tale was all about the complex web of alliances and deceit that exists within the oppressive society of Gilead. It turns out that Commander Wharton has been secretly working on a plan to bring back former handmaids from Jezebel's house, and Aunt Lydia is desperate to keep it under wraps. But what's really interesting here is how Serena Joy's character has evolved over time. We see her getting caught up in the propaganda machine of Gilead and being convinced that she can make a difference by working with the high commanders. It's a classic example of how easily people can be manipulated into doing the opposite of their original intentions. And then there's Lawrence, who is slowly beginning to realize the true nature of Gilead's con to bring back former handmaids. He's starting to see that his role in this plan could mean the end for him, and it's a fascinating exploration of how people can be coerced into doing things they don't want to do. One thing that struck me about this episode was the way in which the show is using Serena Joy's character as a foil to Aunt Lydia. Both characters have been complicit in the oppression of handmaids, but while Serena Joy has tried to justify it through her faith and her desire for power, Aunt Lydia has simply accepted her role as an enforcer of Gilead's laws. Of course, this is not to say that either of these characters is innocent. They're both products of their environment, shaped by the societal norms and expectations that have been imposed upon them. But it's interesting to see how they interact with each other, with Serena Joy seeming to be more nuanced and complex than Aunt Lydia. And then there's Nick, who is dealing with his own moral dilemma. He's the one who pulled the trigger on the guard who was shot in no man's land, and he's now trying to cover it up from his father-in-law. It's a classic example of how people can be forced into doing things they don't want to do, and it raises all sorts of questions about accountability and responsibility. As we watch these characters navigate their complex web of relationships and alliances, it's hard not to wonder what the ultimate outcome will be. Will Serena Joy find redemption? Will Lawrence make a difference? And what will happen to Nick when he gets caught up in his own moral code? One thing is for sure, The Handmaid's Tale is never going to give you easy answers. It's a show that's all about complexity and nuance, and it's going to keep you guessing until the very end. That's all for today's episode of Rose Room Updates. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest news and analysis from The Handmaid's Tale, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you've got any thoughts or theories about what's happening in Gilead, we'd love to hear them in the comments below.